Welcome back to another Amundson Family Music podcast. What number is this?
I don't know, but you're sounding so professional.
Thank you.
I think this might be double digits today.
Double digits, so we're at 10?
10.
Or as the South say, teen.
Teen.
I make fun of everybody. They're like, hey, can I borrow your pen? Like, your what?
Yeah.
Your pen.
Well, I've always made fun of Mom because she says, oh, what's on the rough?
Yeah.
Well, the dogs go rough.
Yeah.
What's on the roof?
And you keep pigs in a pen.
So
no, that's pen. Never mind. That was a bad one.
We were playing, you weren't there, but we were playing at the Conley Gospel Barn on Saturday afternoon. Mm-hmm. And there were several ones who made fun of Canadian accents.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're going oot in a boot? And they loved the A, right?
Right. I said A the other day out in the wild.
Well, it's not going to leave you anytime soon.
But I don't think I've ever said A before. Like, it just...
Oh, you do.
Do I?
It's just one of those things that a Canadian doesn't realize.
You don't notice. But somebody caught me. They were like, did you just say A? I was like, no. What are you talking about? No.
So anyways, yeah, this is our 10th episode of the Amundson Family Podcast.
Okay.
We're having fun.
Yeah, we are. I'm enjoying them. I like listening to them on the way to work.
It's funny, we try and sit here before the podcast starts and think, oh, what are we going to talk about? And we come up with a couple things, but it's generally just stuff that we think about on the go.
Yeah, we kind of just chit-chat back and forth.
Yeah, like we have a main topic. Today,
Okay.
I think we're going to talk about songwriting.
Yeah, songwriting.
So when we get to that, but I don't know if anyone, Sonora was so nice. She went and got me a coffee at The Perk.
The Perk.
You want to do a shout out?
The Perk, yes. Shout out to anybody in Chakotah. What's their address? Are they in Gentry?
Is it Gentry?
I think
or
so.
Broadway, one of the two.
Well, it's right next to the gun store, or right across from the donut store, whatever your go-to is.
Or the Preaching Barber.
What?
The Preaching Barberette. You haven't gone to her?
No.
Okay, we have a lady who, if you go to her, you will hear the gospel.
Really?
If you get your hair cut there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She is interesting.
But yeah, no, they have probably the biggest coffee menu I've ever seen. And they're just
a small spot.
Yeah, they're just a nice little plate.
Great folk.
Yeah, they're nice people. So shout out to the Perk. They make the best coffee.
Yeah, so now I took it out of the cup they gave me and I put it in our Amundson Family Music Jedi cup.
Jedi?
Well,
what?
It's a Yeti. I've always teased you kids about this is my Jedi cup.
Jedi cup, I like it.
With my Amundson Family Music sticker on, which one of these days we're going to get more made. Mm-hmm. And maybe we should even get Amundson Family Music coffee mugs made.
Ooh.
What would you think? Would anyone of you be interested in merch from Amundson Family Music?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know. So thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's a macchiato.
Yeah, macchiato. How did she pronounce it in the store? Macchiato, something like that.
It's a fancy coffee, but it's not as fancy as some of those others.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't know my coffee well enough to tell you what it is. I think it has milk.
Well, I'll tell you, I need my coffee more than ever these last few days.
Why is that?
Do you know why? So we have these pups.
Right.
That's your cue.
Do you want me to go get one
too? Sure,
too?
I'll tell them about my lack of sleep in the last few nights. So we have these pups, 9 of them, that are getting older. And I won't give you all the details on what happened, but they come upon some food that they weren't supposed to. And so the mom has been extra protective. And because of that, at night, she has been barking what feels like every 10 minutes. And I'm a pretty light sleeper, so I've been not getting great sleep the last 3 nights. Finally, we locked all we made the goat pen into a kennel. So they have a shed and their pen, and we made that into a kennel and locked all the puppies and Katie the mom in there all night, and that has helped. So last night I got a better sleep. Oh, here's Nate with one of the puppies. Now, do you know who this is? Anna knows all the names. Hey, are you going to play drums for us, little pup? Do you know the names, Sonora? Okay. Oh, this is Kitty. Has the stripe on her face. Yeah, so if any of you are interested in a really nice batch of puppies, we would like to get rid of a few. They are very cute. You know, and the mom is a great dog, and the dad, as far as we could tell, was a pretty good dog. Yeah. Like really friendly, and German Shepherd.
German Shepherd?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just telling them about the lack of sleep I've been having, because Katie's been extra protective.
Really?
The last few nights. Aww. So they're growing. They're little fat butterballs is what they are. Well, are you ready to tell a story, Sonora?
Sure.
Maybe you could take that one out that's making the noise. Could you carry all 9? And we'll have Nate back a little later because he's going to help us with a song, which we'll tell you about pretty soon.
As you know, EMS has its ups and downs, right? Like there are days where...
Like your job, as in...
my job. And there are days that are great and you just leave work like on a high and you just feel great. But there are days where you do stuff that you do not want to do. And you kind of have to do it. Like there's just no way around it. So we run a lot of fall calls. So old people who have fallen, right? You know, and I'm not really sure why they don't just send fire. I think it's because a lot of the people who have fallen, often they hurt themselves when they fall.
You don't really think of sending for the fire.
Yeah.
Fire squad.
Right. So at least in our company, they always send EMS to a fall call, and they only send fire if EMS requests them. So my partner and I get to the scene of this old lady who had fallen in her bathtub. She was taking a shower, she was taking a bath. And as she was getting out, she fell. And maybe TMI for anybody who's listening, but so you can like turn this down if you want to. But yeah, she was...
Maybe I'll...
She was completely naked in her bathtub, probably a foot of water, a good foot.
Oh my.
Maybe a little more of water in her bathtub. And she was trying to get out and she fell. So when we walk into her teeny tiny little bathroom, that's one of the rules of EMS. If somebody falls in their bathroom, it's always going to be the smallest bathroom in the most inconvenient place possible. So she had fallen and she was kind of hanging over the ledge of her tub. So her belly was on the tub and she was kind of just draped there. Okay. Pretty big lady. So anyways, we get there and we're like, oh no, what are we going to do? So my partner's like, okay, well, one of us is going to have to get on one side of her and one on the other side so we can lift her arms up and kind of pull her up to her feet kind of thing. We get into the craziest situation. So anyway, and this isn't even bad. So my partner's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to step into the water and get on one side of her. And I tell him, no, listen, I have rubber boots on because not only did I have rubber boots on, they're like the short boots because it was raining that day or something. So because I have my EMS boots and then I also have rubber boots, but they're not tall ones. Like they're the short rubber boots. They're like booty rubber boots, right? And I tell him, no, it's fine. I have extra boots at the station so I can switch out and I have rubber boots. So I probably won't even get wet. So I step into the tub and of course there was way more water than I thought. So it all seeped down into my boot. So here I am standing in, ankle deep water, rubber boots full of water in her bath water. And we try lifting her up. No luck. So I go on my radio, Unit 7, we need help. So then they're like, all right, fire department, send the fire department, and they help. They're, 4 big muscular guys walk in, and they're like, made the same face as us, like, what are we gonna do? So they didn't have to step in the water, but there was enough of them that they could get on all sides of her somehow and lift her up, and I just got to sit back and relax, watch the men do their thing. And yeah, they eventually got her out and walked her to her chair. And
wowzers.
But we were probably on scene for a couple hours.
Really?
It was crazy.
Oh, that's crazy. Someone made the comment on our YouTube channel about how I forget what they said. Something about they admired you because you're an EMS and you get to be around all these hot guys. Oh. That's the word.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So be careful, she said.
Yeah. Well, there's fire, EMS, PD. Then there's the doctors and nurses. But
well, your
don't
story,
get me started.
As gruesome as it is, reminded me of another story of when I was young, and one of our cows got stuck in. Well, we call them a dugout. They call them a pond here.
Right.
So got stuck in the dugout, and I mean in the muck, and in the water and muck. And we had to get straps around her and get the tractor, and it was like a suctioning her, like pulling her out of the muck. It was so that's what your story reminded you of. Yeah, kind of
the same thing. Got all wet and dirty. Yeah. It's funny, I didn't have any extra socks. Like, we're supposed to keep an extra uniform, but I had just used my extra socks a couple of days before that. So I didn't have any extra, so we had to run to the Dollar General. Oh, good old Dollar General. Yeah.
Did you see, on Facebook, I saw the other day, I don't know if they call it a meme or whatever, but it had a picture of, this is the last Dollar General for half a mile.
Half a mile. Okay, wait a minute. I think we need to explain something here for our Canadian friends, because there are no Dollar Generals. So
you can have some worse.
Yeah, honestly. So Dollar Generals, what are they, like a mini Walmart, but like also a dollar store? Because it's not really a dollar store.
Well, it has everything.
It has a little bit of everything.
Kind of like a dollar store, yet has more than what you'd think.
But picture it as if there's one person who works the whole entire store. Nobody cleans. Everybody fends for themselves. There's probably a dog working the register. Just kidding. I've seen memes about it. And the stores are always a mess and they're run down.
Yeah. I think of towns this way and stores. So at least in Canada, you can think about it this way. When a town is a certain size, they get a Subway. Right? Or if they're a little bigger, they might get a McDonald's or a Dairy Queen.
And then a Sonic.
And here you would once a town's big enough, you get a Sonic.
Right.
Or you know what I mean. Well, I think you can have a town of about 10 people and they can have a Dollar General.
Probably 3.
Maybe 3, yeah. And they all work there.
Yeah. So there's going to be one in town. And then there's going to be one 2 miles out of town in the middle of an empty field.
I know.
That's how it is. You will be in the middle of nowhere, and there'll be an empty field, and there's just a Dollar General there. And I bet you if there's 3 in a town, there's one person working all 3. So you go to the register, and they're like, oh, ring the bell or whatever, and the person has to come. Anyways, it's Dollar General. What a story.
Well, you could write a song about that. I bet you know what? I would put down $100.
I bet
that there are songs about Dollar General and what we're talking about.
I bet Zach Bryan or somebody. Do you know who that is?
I've heard the name.
He's pretty famous now, but he's from Oklahoma and he writes a lot of songs about Oklahoma. So
he's from Oklahoma?
He sure is, yeah.
Okay.
He was in the Navy and he grew up and raised in Oklahoma. I think he still lives here.
Okay.
Not sure.
So we were going to talk about songwriting. We have a little bit more time left, but we'll have to maybe stretch it into other episodes.
Yeah.
We're going to sing a song of yours that you wrote today in a bit.
Okay.
What can you tell us about this song and how you went about writing it?
So Ira had actually just gotten back from Idaho visiting his friends there. And, I don't really know. The way I write songs, I don't really I've written a lot, but only a few of them have been okay. But the way I write songs is I'll just randomly get an idea. I'll be like, oh, I got to write that down. Or, randomly get a tune and oh, I can make words to this or something like that. But, and when it happens, it happens. I I can't force it. It just one day I'm just like, that works. Or one day I'll just be like, hey, I should write a song. And so, yeah, I was just sitting somewhere randomly. Ira was talking about Idaho or something. And I was like, well, maybe I should write a song in his perspective, kind of, because, I mean,
he'd like to be
I don't
there.
even know if I've ever been to Idaho. So how am I supposed to know? But I wrote a song about Idaho, kind of in his perspective, wanting to. Well, you know what? I won't explain the song. I think you guys can.
The song, you know what? I gotta say, I've written a lot of songs, and we talked about when we were listening to Four Strong Winds. Mm-hmm. Remember that episode? And we thought, you know what? When you hear that song, you picture something definite in your mind.
Right.
When I heard your song for the first time, that's what I got, is I saw something definite in my mind. And to me, that's the sign of a good song.
And the cool thing is that when I was writing it, I had a picture in my head, and that picture was the same thing as what you thought. Mm-hmm. So.
And it can be whatever genre you can imagine, as long as you can. It puts it into real perspective.
Right.
And so I'm kind of the same way as you in songwriting. I kind of have to be inspired, pushed a little bit. Yeah. I just can't sit down and write a song. Generally, something comes to me. And a lot of times, it's a hook line and a melody that come to me. Mm. And then I'll write it down. I used to have a notebook full of
me too
of songwriting lines and partial songs. I lost that in our fire.
Aww.
But now my notes on my iPhone are full.
Same.
Of just, and so you'll go through those once in a while, right?
Yeah.
And you'll say, oh, that might work, or hey, I can put this one and this one together.
Right.
Or I have this really bad song I wrote years ago. I'm going to take this part out of it and use it here.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. Or sometimes they're just poems, and you're like, I think I can put some music to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you want to do that? Nate, we'll have you come back and supply a little beat.
So as Zach Bryan would say, this is a little song I wrote about Idaho. Okay, let me adjust this mic here.
Oh yeah, we got to get you working right here.
Yeah.
Songwriting's where it's at.
All right.
I swear
toes. Maybe at the top of the hill, who knows? Getting so close. The miles that lay between you and I don't exist, 'cause like I told you, I'm almost there. Won't exist, 'cause like I told you, I'm almost there. Won't exist, 'cause like I told you, almost there.
Very nice. You know, I can just picture hiking through the woods and the mountains to make that trip over into
Right.
the Idaho. I can just picture it.
Right. So I don't know if like the way that I kind of wrote it was that it has two meanings. So like the one you pictured, the
Physical
like hiking, you're hiking to Idaho and you like can almost see it. But you can also look at it in like the, what do you call it, theoretical way, as in like in life, like for example, Ira, he's wanting to move there, right? So in life, you're like, I'm almost to the point in my life where I can move there.
Right, like whether spending the money, like saving the money,
Yeah.
or free to go do that,
Yeah, so he's like, I
or
can,
building up the nerve to do
right,
that.
nerve too. So like I'm almost there at the point in my life where I can move, But anyways, so yeah.
Anyways, well
Proud of
done.
that
You
one.
need to keep. I'll tell you what. This is interesting. You would think that there's only so many good songs, right?
Right.
And you think, oh, I don't want to waste a song. I don't know if that makes sense, but it seems like the more songs you write, generally the better you get at it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So it's not like, and this is a wonderful thing. I mean, it's just, to me, that's why I know music is from the Lord, because there's no end to it.
Right.
The good songs are endless. Now, so are bad songs. But
Yeah.
I guess that's in everyone's perspective, though.
Yeah, it's funny because like my notebook that you were talking about, I'll look in it and look at old songs or voice recordings of some old songs, and they're just terrible. Like the song will be going in like 18 different directions.
Yeah. Well, I heard an interview from Ed Sheeran,
Oh yeah.
of course, songwriter, and he was talking about how many awful songs he wrote when he was first starting out, and he was encouraging people to just keep at it.
Keep going.
You will get songs, and you will get a method that works for you, right? Whether
Yeah.
that method is inspiration, whether it's sitting down at your desk every day at 8 a.m. or whatever it might be. I seem to need some pressure. If I know that we need songs for an album, or something went on in life where it just, the pressure builds and you have to let it out in song, that's where I write my songs.
See, I'm the opposite. If I have pressure, I go blank. It has to just come to me one day. Like I'll be doing the most random things, like driving to Oklahoma City with a combative patient in the back and be like, oh, hey.
But do you listen for, like I do. I listen for things that, oh, that sounds like a great song title, or that sounds like a good lick or a good hook for a song.
Yeah.
And I'll note that, and I'll get my phone and I'll say, hey, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think I do that too. I think where I'll come up with a random like sentence, be like, "Hey, that's a good hook.
Yeah.
Let's turn that into a song." Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, don't give up just because you've written 100 bad songs. I probably had to write 100 before I did anything good.
And that's the other thing is who you're writing for. Like in the end, you write for yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, it used to be, and maybe still is to a certain extent, that you kind of wanted to fit your song into a format, right? Radio wanted a 3-minute song that had a verse, chorus, hook, chorus, verse,
Yeah.
blah, blah. That's not so true anymore.
No, you can get away with almost anything.
Anything. Like the way the indie market is now and the internet, your song can be as short or as long as it needs to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Or it can be just totally weird.
Like just a chorus. Or sorry,
Yeah.
verse.
Yeah, or just different tempos, different melodies even.
Yeah.
And those are more acceptable nowadays. There's always been those kind of songs, but they rarely were popular.
Yeah. Now what's popular is something different, I think. Yeah.
But I like different while keeping traditional at the same time. That was your song.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Well, so thank you for sharing that. Do you have a verse?
I do. Yeah, I just looked one up here. This is Isaiah 55, verse. I think I'll do 6 to 9. It says, "Seek the Lord while he may be found, call on him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake their ways and the unrighteous their thoughts. Let them turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on them, and to our God, for he will freely pardon. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." That has a wide range of emotions for me. Like, emotions, whatever. Like, first of all, they're saying, it's saying, seek the Lord. While you can, I guess. And then it's saying, the wicked can let the wicked turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on them, and he will freely pardon. So, no matter who you are, what you've done, you can still turn to the Lord. And then it goes to say, like, my thoughts are not your thoughts. So just comes to say that, God knows best.
Right. And we shouldn't judge ourselves too harshly.
No.
Like of the past.
Right.
Turn from your wicked ways. God will forgive, and just let the past be past.
Yeah. And like, I saw this really cool thing I just thought of on Instagram. I won't read the whole thing, but it was like an Instagram post kind of just saying the same thing about, doesn't matter who you were in the past, because God will forgive you, but not only that, but he still uses you. Because something that I've struggled with is thinking like, oh, I've done so many wrong things. Like, what am I, like, how am I any use to God anymore, But, and you think of people in the Bible who, like, I know for me, I looked up to them like, wow, like Moses did all this, or this is what Noah did, or this is what Peter or David did, and they're like, they look perfect to you, or at least when I was young, I was like, wow, they're perfect, and those are the people that God used. But then I saw this, and it said, Elijah was suicidal. Job wished he was never born. David was depressed. Moses was anxious. Hannah was barren. Paul was alone in prison. Jacob was a cheater. Peter had a temper. David had an affair. Noah got drunk. Jonah ran away from God. Paul was a murderer. Gideon. Anyways, it goes on. And I'm just like, wait a minute. That changes the whole thing. Like, you're saying God used these people? Like, he didn't use the perfect people who had everything going for them and who did everything perfect. Like, he used these people, and that just, even like, I don't know, sorry.
No, that's amazing. It changes everything. God looks at the heart, and he forgives, yet he's still, it's interesting, we may have done things in the past and he forgives, but he can still use that for his advantage for the kingdom of God. Like, just think about, David had an affair with Bathsheba. His seed was Jesus. Like, if you follow the inheritance, through.
Yeah,
it's pretty amazing.
Just comes to show that, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, no matter what you've done, like, God knows. Like, he knew what you were gonna do, and it's all in his plan, right? You might feel awful about yourself, and I'm sure there's still going to be punishments, and because you got to learn from your mistakes, but like, in the end, like, it was his plan, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, so it all works out.
And he can see the end from the beginning.
Yeah, where we can't. We just see that little tiny flash.
We just need to trust him. Well, we could pick this subject up on another one.
Yeah, I could go on and on about that.
Oh, maybe next time or sometime we should.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, this has been good. Thank you for joining us today. And again, if you have any ideas about what you'd like to hear, just let us know in the comments, especially if we're on YouTube here. You can comment under there. You can go to our website, give us an email. You can go to Facebook, Instagram, message us on there as well. Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's so nice you could be with us today.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Bye.